Yo, what's up guys? Today we are reacting to this video, which is why do Indian immigrants become rich and raise successful kids? The title is very intriguing, so I'm gonna watch this and I hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know if you are living in India in the comments, or if you are an Indian living abroad. There's a name for that, an Indian living abroad. Let me know in the comments what the name is if you know. Let's go.
So why is it that Indian immigrants from India, the country, and the
Indians from India. Smart. That's a nice smart. That's a good start. You know, Indians from India. I'm kidding.
So why is it that Indian immigrants from India, the country, and the ethnic group of Indians in America are crushing every other ethnic group in America, not by 5%, not by 10%, by 20% in income? We have stats on their divorce rates against everybody else. We have stats on how they raise their kids. We have stats on how they put their kids in certain majors over other majors. It's just
Okay, so the divorce rate maybe is because they come to America. Well, not come because I'm not in America. But they go to America and they see that everybody is being divorced and they're like, it's a easy way out. Maybe that's it. I don't know. We're going to watch this video and see what he has to say. But guys, I just want to comment that the biggest CEOs in the world are Indians. I just want to throw that out there.
mind-boggling, and everybody else is going to learn a ton about how Indians raise their kids.
Okay, so CamCut. That's the name of the channel. The link is in the description.
Get value from this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. Income is one of the ways to measure who's more successful than others, okay? This is according to the US Census Bureau, where Indian Americans rank amongst other ethnic groups. If you look at this chart here, this is 2018. Indians all the way at the top at $120,000 income. Taiwanese is number 2. They're ahead of them by nearly.
Bro, that's the median US household income by selected $120,000 per year, and that's only in 2018. No way, no way, bro. In fact, let's see, how much is that? 100 and bro, come on, you're kidding me about that. $120,000 to Indian rupees. Bro, that is 1 crore. Is that 1 crore? 9,800,000. So rounding up, that's 10 million rupees. That's 1 crore. Bruv. Is that a lot in India? Yo, that's crazy. As a teacher, I wish I had that salary. 120,000 a year. That's insane. Wow.
Nearly 25%, 24%, Chinese third, Japanese fourth, then is Pakistani, Filipino, Indonesian, Korean, Cambodian, Hmong, and then Vietnamese. And look where white Americans are at $65,000.
What? Oh, that is insane. Where are my brothers and sisters? Brazil. Where's Brazil? Brazilians don't get money? But I'm happy for India. But Brazil! Come on, what are you doing? Man, Brazil, we suffer, man. What's wrong with Brazil? We work hard. We work day in, day out. We work from 6 in the morning, actually 5 in the morning until midnight. Oh, I snorted.
And look where white Americans are at $65,000. Indians make $55,000 more per year than white Americans. By the way, white Americans, you're trying to go to 4 days a week work week. Try convincing an immigrant coming from India, Taiwan, China, Japan, Pakistan, Filipino, Indonesian, Korean, Cambodian, Persian, Hmong, Vietnamese. Try to convince them to only work 4 days a week. Not their kids who are born here maybe, and they've been Americanized. Try convincing an immigrant to only work 4 days a week. They will laugh at you. The whole purpose of coming to America is that they can work as much as they want. It's called free enterprise. But let's kind of take a deep dive with some of these other stats.
Bro, immigrants love working. I work every single day. I don't work oh, Monday to Friday. I work every single day. I work from morning to evening. If I'm not giving classes, I'm making YouTube videos. If I'm not making YouTube videos, I'm editing my videos. If I'm not editing my videos, I am thinking of new videos. Bro, I only stop when I go to sleep. And even then, I dream about work. I'm kind of like a workaholic, I guess.
Indian population living in poverty amongst percentage-wise with Americans. All Americans, roughly 13% of Americans live in poverty. All Asians, it's 10%. Look at Indians. Only 6% of all Indians in America live in poverty. Now, let's look at education. What percentage of them have bachelor's degrees? What percentage of them have masters or MBAs? And what degrees they have? Look at this year. In 2021, 80% of Indian immigrants over 25 years old or older reported having at least a bachelor's degree versus only a third of all foreign-born and U.S.-born adults. Again,
this is the secret. Education. Bro, Indians are very attached to education. They know that the secret to success is learning, is getting a degree. They know. You guys know, bro, if you have education and you have a degree, knowledge is power. And this is something that the West is trying to avoid. Oh, I don't need to, learn. Bro, people are dropping out of schools. My man, don't do that. Go to school, get your degree, and learn. I was one of those, I had that mentality when I was younger. I didn't want to study. And now I'm a teacher. That's insane. I had a full mind transformation and, I've been successful throughout my years. Not 120,000 a year. But then again, I think I would get that if I was living in the US. It's just that in the UK, salaries are a little bit less.
80% versus 33%. 80% of 25 and older have a degree, 4-year degree. 49% of Indian immigrants adults have at least a graduate or professional degree in 2021 compared to 15% of foreign-born and 13% of US-born. Nearly 4 times of US-born is what they have. Now, what do they major in? Let's kind of go a little bit deeper into that one. Lots of people waste money on degrees that have no amount of high-paying jobs. Most people agree that you plan on going to college, you need to major in STEM to make it a good investment, but Indian Americans abide by this. It's like a religion. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Look at the chart here on...
I know a lot of engineers in India that... I know a lot of people that talk about engineers in India, that they don't get enough money. So these engineers leave India and go to the US where they can get money. That's insane. A lot of science and computer science geniuses coming from India. A lot of business management, as I said, the CEOs. That is insane. Physical and life sciences, medicine, yeah, probably. Fine applied arts, health professions, humanities, and intensive English. Wow.
What they major in. At the top, you see the blue, engineering 36%. Then it's math and computer science 35%. Then that 10% at the top, you see it? Business management. So they're intentional about what areas they're going to go major in. Now let's go even a little bit deeper than this on how they measure amongst other ethnic groups. This is according to the U.S. Census Bureau. If you look at the top right, you'll see all immigrants, it's a darker blue. You'll see Indian immigrants, it's a lighter blue. And then you'll see U.S. born, okay? Furthest to the left is management, business, science, art, occupations. Look who's in the middle. 79%
That's crazy,
of Indian
bro.
immigrants versus 43% of U.S. born versus 37% of all immigrants. They major in management, business, and science. Look at service occupation. They're the lowest at 5%. U.S. is 15%, and all the other immigrants, 21%. They're like, no, you're not going to major in service when you...
I think Brazil is in that 21%.
Going into this. Look at...
Why?
Sales and office occupation, 10%, 15%, 21%. National resource constitution maintenance occupation, they're 1%. It's almost as if you do go and major in that, you're going to get a lot of pop-out from your parents there, but it's a 1%. 8% for U.S. born, 12% from all immigrants. Then production, transportation, and material moving, 6, 13, 15. Look, they're not interested in that. You know what they're interested in?
Transportation, bro. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Every time I use Uber or I order an Uber, bro, it's always a Brazilian here in the UK. Always Brazilians. And I'm not, there's nothing wrong with working on Uber or delivering food on Uber Eats. But bro, why is it always the Brazilians? Why? I think the main reason, you know what? I think the main reason is the language barrier. And I'm gonna be honest with you, as a teacher myself, I am an English teacher, and I come from Brazil, and I know that in my country, less than 5% speak English. We are hard workers, but we don't speak the language. So, we have to just fit in and work with whatever we can, like drivers and other stuff like that. But I'm telling you, if 50% of Brazil, or if 10% of Brazil spoke English, I'm telling you, Brazil would be a huge number in this immigration chart over here, because I can see that Brazilians and Indians have a lot of similarities, and both of them are very hardworking. The problem is that we don't have English in our culture. We don't have that as a main language. We don't even have Spanish as, it should be, come on. But anyways, India speaks English. It's the biggest population that speaks English. And you can see that they can work in any job and they choose the best jobs. Management, science, these are where the money is. And the future is in science, bro. I'm not even going to get into AI and those things.
Management, business, science is what they're interested in. They want to do STEM. So obviously this leads to them making a lot of money, but let's look at business. Are they startup entrepreneurs? Do they produce billionaires? I don't know. Let's take a look. So here's what it looks like. According to Oxford Academic, Indian immigrants represent 1% of the US population, but 8% of the founders of high-tech companies and 1/3 of technology startups in Silicon Valley. 1% of total US population, 8% of all founders. Here's some of the names of billionaires that produce: Jay Chaudhry, net worth $8.3 billion, CEO of Zscaler. Vinod Khosla, net worth $5.3 billion, former Sun Microsystem co-founder. Rome Wadhwani, $5.1 billion. Rakesh Ganwal, $4 billion, Indigo CEO, founder. Naresh Shah, CEO of Wayfair, $2.8 billion. Anil Bursi, net worth $2.3 billion, CEO of Workday. This is working on how they're producing and what they're majoring in. Now let's look at family perspective. What do they do that's different when it comes down to the family? Well, one thing that's interesting is it's very common for multiple Indian families to share a home while building a business together and continuously expanding the business. So it's almost like the concept of delayed gratification. Hey, let's live together, let's minimize expenses, let's put all the money we're making back into the business rather than splurging and wasting money all over the place. A couple other things to be thinking about.
Lots of family businesses from India. And in fact, here in the UK, bro, some people actually, they comment that India has a lot of, shops, convenience stores, those local shops. And I was always a fan of that, like of seeing someone come to the country and open a business. And I always thought, how can I do that, myself? It would be nice to have my own business here in the UK. And then because I'm a teacher, so I give private classes and stuff like that as well. So that's kind of my business. But, in the future, if I open a school, maybe I'll be successful here as well with the school or something, or a production company. I don't know. I can do both. But that's interesting. I love how, it's a family owned business and it just works.
When it comes down to divorce rates, did you know Indian Americans have the lowest divorce rates in America?
Lowest,
right? Now, some of you are going to say, well, of course they have the lowest divorce rates in America because they have arranged marriages. They may in India, but not necessarily all in America. It does happen, but it's not as high of a number as it is in India, and it's gradually going away anyways. Well, let's look at the stats here. According to National Center for Family and Marriage Research, blacks, they have the highest divorce rate, 30.8%. Hispanics are 18.5%. Whites are 15.1%. Other is 12.4%. But for Indian families, you ready? There's some studies that say 1.3%, and some that show 6%, but they're lower than anybody else.
Wow.
When it comes down to this. Obviously, some of it has to do with culture, ritual, all of that, but they have a lower divorce rate than others. Again, this is purely based on statistics. Couple other things.
Bro, that is admirable, because marriage isn't easy. So you have to fight for your marriage. You know, you have to fight, and it's as much work as any other job or responsibility that you have in your life. I mean, you made a promise, you made your vows, you know, and it's something that you have to work on and get to know each other, and, you know, just figure it out throughout the years. So this is amazing, the fact that, you know, they have the lowest. I thought they were among the highest or something like that. That's why I made my first comment in the beginning, because I thought it was a high number, but it's the lowest. This is just amazing, man. You got to respect Indians, really, like the culture and what they believe in, what you guys believe in, what you hold dear to your heart. And, you know, it just makes a lot of sense that you would be successful. And I think that's the key to happiness. You know, don't do harm to anyone else. You know, respect your husband and your wife, work hard, reinvest in your business, and just, you know, you'll see prosperity come and a happy life. This is amazing, bro. And I wish, you know, my country had more of that culture, you know, that belief, you know. I really do. I wish Brazilians had at least English, you know. If they had English in their culture, or the fact that, you know, you have to study, because education in Brazil is, I mean, it's good for those who want to follow and pursue it, but, you know, for like public schools, bro, it's insane. People take guns and knives, and it's insane. Anyways, I don't want to talk bad about my country. I'm just lamenting. I just wish, you know, my country had more of the values that we see in India.
Looked at this website called indiaparenting.com, and we saw these 10 things that they do as parenting that's different than others. Some of it you may say, I had some of that with my parents, or I apply some of it myself, and some of you may say, yeah, we definitely don't do that in America. Here, let me kind of go through it. Number one, they promote kinship. Indian parents make it a point to foster relationships and association with their social and family acquaintances. They edify their children to be in social connections and also maintain healthy connections with their relatives. More so, they stay as shelter beside their children till they are married off, right from the children's infant ages to their marriage times. Even after that, the parents support their youngsters emotionally in order to provide the much needed support. Ideal Indian parents create a social environment where the concept of family is expanded to all. So they're selling family, they're selling kinship, they're selling let's stay close. They're edifying that lifestyle, and the kids are emulating whatever the parent, the leader edifies. That's what they want to do. Number two.
On that topic, I know that there are many people who say, no, I want my independence. I like my independence, you know, and that's kind of like an American mindset where as soon as you reach 18, you're out of the house, you know, while Indians, they tend to keep closer. So some people might even think, you know, that's a little bit, you know, you don't have any freedom, you know, it's a little bit intrusive, especially if you have controlling parents. And it's kind of like a foreign concept for the West. In fact, I think there was I don't know if it was Priyanka Chopra who answered a TV host. I saw something like that she was asked, was it her? I don't think it was her. It was someone else, I think. Don't remember who it was. It was a famous Indian actress. And somebody asked, I think it was Oprah, asked her, do you live with your parents and how does that work? It was kind of like one of those questions. And then she, you know, was it her or was it her husband? I can't remember. If you know what video I'm talking about, let me know in the comments. And I think it was the husband of a famous Indian actress. It wasn't even her. It was the husband who was asked if he lives with his parents, and then he asked, if Oprah didn't live with her parents, and how does that work? Kind of like that. So you could see the culture clash there, and that was something very interesting to watch. And at first it felt like they were trying to mock them, and then they got mocked instead. Anyways, guys, if you know that video, let me know in the comments, because I want to rewatch that, maybe even react to it.
Self-sacrifice, and almost every Indian parent sacrifices their lives in some way to devote themselves in raising their kids. Indian mothers forego their dreams and passions to take care of their children. Fathers often make compromises in their careers to ensure well-being of the young ones. Interesting. Everything about life becomes about pouring into their kids, and look at the types of kids that they're developing. Number 3, trustworthy and friendly. Trust is one thing that Indian parents mostly possess. This factor makes them the best friend of their children, at least till their adulthood. Indian mothers become the best friends of their sons, while the daughters love to confine their secrets in their fathers. What? Let me say that one more time. Indian mothers become best friends of their sons, while daughters feel comfortable sharing and confiding their secrets to their fathers. Is that?
It makes sense.
That sound American, or is that?
That does not sound American, but it makes sense. It makes sense because the father figure is more kind of like protective, while the mother figure is kind of like more aggressive, you know. So I think the son respects his mother because she's so, you know, aggressive, and you know, she has the authority there, you know, and I think men can handle that, while women would feel a little bit insecure talking to their mothers, but they would talk to their fathers. I think something like that is what makes sense. So, but I love this mother connection. Indian mothers are something else, but Indian fathers also. And in my culture, you know, we also have something like that. Bro, Brazilian parents are insane. They're crazy, but you know, we love them, and it's tough love, but you know, it works.
They're like, you know what I'm saying? Very interesting, right? When you think about the dynamic here of how this looks.
Don't ever talk back to your parents in Brazil. I think it's the same in India. But bro, yeah, you're gonna see the wrath, the power, the fire coming down.
Let's go to number 4. Quality time. Indian parents, amidst their busy schedule, give quality time to their children. They spend great time with their wards instead of just letting them grow in their own way. They're involved. They're not letting them go and let society raise their kids. They're very much involved with their kids. Number 5, nurture the talents. When it comes down to Indian parents, they're extremely good at identifying the skills and unique talents of their children. They toil hard to enhance those special gifts that their kids are blessed with. You would often find the Indian kids, teenagers, and young adults getting well acclaimed in a number of creative fields thanks to the dedicated and loving Indian parents.
Okay, so I know some people in the comments will say it's not always like that, because most of us are forced to follow a certain job or follow some certain education. Because imagine if you go to your father and you say, I want to be a Bollywood actor, I want to be a sandalwood actor, you know, I want to be a Mollywood actor, or I want to be a Tollywood actor, you know, something like that, a Collywood actor. If you, I don't know, maybe you would be talked down to, look, go study something, get your degree, and then we can talk. Something like that. I think that would be kind of a realistic conversation. Of course, there are some parents who do help and do, like, you know, those sports fathers, they would tell their sons, look, you're going to be a cricket player, and something like that. He would help the child. But I feel that education comes before passion in India, because there are children that want to be famous and want to be a cricket player, and it's so hard to get into these professions that I think the parents try to ground them a little bit. They try to be supportive, but they tell them, look, no, study. That's how I feel, but I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments if this idea that I have is wrong, and you know, tell me what the real thing is.
Number 6, inquisitive. That's one quality of Indian parents that many children are annoyed about. Very interesting. However, Indian parents, being curious in nature, keep a careful watch on their kids. Instead of breaching the freedom and privacy of their children, parents stay watchful about their offspring's attitude and behavior to prevent them from venturing into any misleading paths. You know, some of the things you hear parents say, leave your kids alone, let them do whatever they want, you know, they kind of got to go through it. Indian parents will say, you're a fool to do that when they're kids. You got to be involved so they don't go out there and do crazy things. I remember, while I'm listening to this, some of it's reminding me, I'm thinking my mom.
Bro, I cannot relate with that. Americans, I can't relate with that. Like, my parents would never let me do anything, you know. I would get whooped if I disobeyed my parents, you know. And if I talked loud, if I talked out of place, bro, you would just see sandals and flip-flops flying through the other room. It wasn't even in the same room. Sometimes through the kitchen, going through the living room, into the bathroom, and out the window in the yard. That's how accurate the aim of my parents were. But yeah, it taught me to be a better person.
Mom's maybe a little bit Indian. Middle Easterns have similar tendencies, by the way. They're on these lists too. My sister went on her first date. I'm a younger brother by 6 years. She says, your job is to spy on her. You're gonna go everywhere she goes. So I'm like, no problem. Yes, sir. You know, it's like, yes, ma'am. So me and the friends, everybody had a job. I'm watching from the top. He's here. Did they kiss? And then boom, they drove. Follow him. I'm a 14, 15-year-old kid. We're trying to follow exactly where this guy's going, watching everything to come back and report. Look at that concept. This kid had to do this with his sister. Some tells me Indian parents maybe do a little bit of that as well. Sisters are watching the same. You were the annoying brother, were you? I was very protective. Power to all the protective brothers out there. We need more of them out there. I'm hoping Siko and Dylan will be the same as well. I'm sure they will be. Okay, culture. Indian parents instill the fundamental culture and religious values into their children right at their childhood. India is a country that has deep-rooted cultural values. Its traditions and legacies are well maintained. Indian parents make it a point to impart the same value to their children. Don't go away from your values and principles. Keep selling it to them. Number 8, religious tolerance. India is a land of diversity with multitude of ethnic races having dissimilar values and ethos. Indian parents infuse the ethics in their children that let them respect people hailing from different religions, castes, creeds, and races. Respect. So it's like, hey, you got to respect everybody that's out there. Makes sense. Number 9, ready? This one's going to be a little bit confusing for some of you. Judgmental. Indian parents are highly judgmental. That definitely helps them in keeping their children safe from negatives. This is also one of the best qualities of an Indian parent, to implant the same insightful abilities in their successors.
I'm gonna comment. I have a comment for every point here. I'm gonna comment something. I was in my country walking the streets, and I saw 3 kids in the streets right in front of me. They were kids. And I thought, you know, I had this instinct. I'm going to change roads. I'm going to cross the road because they don't look they look sketchy. But then I thought, no, I'm being judgmental. You know what? I'm going to just continue walking. And I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to, act on prejudice. I'm not going to be judgmental. It's just probably that they didn't have enough, I don't know, money to buy better clothes or something like that. But I thought, you know, I was doing the right thing of not crossing the road and not being judgmental, even though my instinct said, don't go there. But it was the only way. Like I had to go that way. And I did. The next thing I know, these kids, they were kids. They weren't even like my height. They were like this tall. They surrounded me, pulled a big, kind of like a machete, like a knife that was this big, and he put it in the middle of my my stomach, and then he said, "Give me everything you have." And I was looking down at him because he was short, and there were 2 guys behind me. This was a busy road. This was in the middle of the day. And I thought to myself, oh, I should have crossed the road, you know. I wasn't being judgmental. I was just being precautious because, you know, I could identify that something was wrong, but my, you know, my humanitarian side gave too much trust, and I thought, you know, I might be acting on prejudice, and I don't want to be judgmental. I don't want this to, you know, I don't want to be that guy. But then I was robbed. The way I got out of that situation, he had the knife like 1 centimeter pushed into my gut, so I couldn't run or couldn't do anything. But the way I did was I used my acting skills, and I said, I'm gonna talk to that police officer. He turned around, and then he grabbed my iPad, which was in my pocket. I had like a big pocket. It was an iPad mini. He grabbed it and they ran away. And I never saw that iPad again. I never saw that kid again. But I always remember to cross the road if I see some danger. Whether you call me judgmental or not, hey, I know what happened. You know, I don't know if that's what he's going to talk about, but it's better to be safe than sorry, you know. But I'm not saying you should judge people or anything like that based on how they dress. But I'm just saying keep an eye out. And as what I understood was, you know, if I had been judgmental, I would avoid a negative. So, yeah.
And last but not least, number 10, multitasking. Most Indians are hardworking. They are diligent when it comes on.
Oh, wait, he's not going to explain anything about that?
And last but not least, number 10, multitasking. Most Indians are hardworking. They are diligent when it comes down to handling their parenting tasks. The moms and dads in India do great multitasking while managing their personal and professional life. They strike a fine balance between their times and dedicate adequate time to both their children and their jobs. All right, so look, you may agree with some of the things, you may not agree with some of the things, but the results is there. It shows you the numbers, what they've done, and there's a lot to be learned from what they're doing.
And the numbers don't lie.
A few different takeaways. Number one, if your kids are going to go to school, don't wing it. Speak to them about what things to be considered then. Get involved in what degrees. I watch how involved Tom is with his kids going and taking degrees. It's amazing seeing parents that are involved and saying, hey, look at this, look at that, let's research this together rather than do whatever you want to do. Number two, superior work ethic. They don't compromise their work ethic. No one's going to make them not work hard, including the 4-hour work week, Business Insider, Bloomberg, HuffPo type of people that are journalists who came out of Columbia, want to convince everybody to do a 4-day work week. Good luck doing that to the Indian community, and you shouldn't let that happen to you either. Number three, they're intentional about what they're doing. They're not winging it. They're saying, hey, here's what we're doing, and this is why. This is what we're doing with our kids, and here's why.
There's a plan behind it.
Intention behind it. Next, vision and discipline. Extremely disciplined in how they're raising their kids based on some of the things that we're reading here. Next, delayed gratification is there, and they're constantly teaching their kids that there's many ways to do that. You know, I can ask my kids sometimes, I'll say, hey, let me ask you a question. Would you rather have me buy you an ice cream right now, but you get no video games for 4 weeks? Or would you rather not have ice cream for a month, but you get 4 video games a month from now? They're sitting there, oh my God, I would much rather not have to do this. I'll wait versus I have this. These are ways to develop the muscle of delayed gratification by you putting them in positions where they have to make the decision themselves. Strong values, and they keep selling the values and principles to their kids, and they don't compromise it. They're not embarrassed by it. They don't let the world or American society make them feel guilty about what they believe in and become softer and more gentle. No, this is what we stand for, kid. Here's who you are. Here's the family you're a part of. This is what we're going to be doing. Now let's figure out your talents and help you go out there and do big things within your life and make us proud, make the family proud, but more importantly, make you an incredible net positive to society. Hey,
bro, I just want to say one thing. I think you should live life on purpose. You know, live life on purpose. Before you go to sleep, think, tomorrow I'm going to do this, that. Don't just go to sleep and wake up and, hey, what are we going to do today? Live life on purpose. Plan your life. Like, what do I want? What are my objectives? How am I going to get there? You know, if it fails, what am I going to do? Because many people, they have ambitions and they don't have a plan. And when they see failure, they don't know what to do. And then they just give up, or they become depressed, or they stop trying, you know. And also that happens with people who are very successful. After they reach their goals, after they become successful, what then? They don't have a future plan. They already have everything, and they stop, and they kind of like feel, okay, what am I going to do now? And there's also the third type of person that becomes successful but never knows when to stop. They keep on working and they keep on going, and they have to be the richest, and after they become the richest, they simply don't have a satisfaction button where they can say, okay, I'm satisfied, now let's find, you know, something else to do with my life, rather than just trying to be the best, because that is also unhealthy. You need to find a balance in your life. Let's see what he finishes off on.
Quick shout out to Indian parents out there. I salute you. I respect you for doing what you're doing. You make the world a safer place by raising kids based on high standards and high values and principles. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. Anyways, if you got value from this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And I got another video. We shot this a year ago, I want to say, in Boca, how to raise successful kids. If you've never seen it before, click here to watch the video. Take care, everybody.
Okay, wow, that was a very nice, insightful video, guys. If you want to check out the channel is called Valuetainment. Valuetainment, and the link always will be in the description. Go check it out. Bro, Indian parents, they're doing great. And if you enjoyed this video and you have any other video like this that you want me to react to, let me know in the comments down below. And guys, thank you for watching. I would love to read your comments, and yo, I'll see you in the next video. I think that's all I had to say. Keep safe and take care now. Bye bye. See you soon.